What if I told you there's a country where every single street corner looks like it was painted by Leonardo da Vinci, where entire cities float on water defying the laws of physics, and where 2,000-year-old buildings still host gladiator games that make modern sports look boring? Welcome to Italy, where reality is more beautiful than any Renaissance masterpiece. I've uncovered 15 destinations across Italy that will make you understand why this country literally invented the concept of beauty, art, and civilization as we know it. From villages built into impossible cliff faces to underground cities carved from volcanic rock, Italy doesn't just have beautiful places. Italy is the template for what beautiful means. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll show you the Italy that goes beyond pizza and pasta tourism. These are places where Roman emperors built their greatest monuments, where Renaissance masters created their most incredible art, where every sunset looks like God hired Michelangelo as his personal photographer. Prepare to fall in love with the most beautiful country ever created. Number 15. Positano on the Amalfi Coast, where an entire village cascades down impossible cliff faces like a waterfall of pastel-colored houses, creating what many call the most photographed village in the world. This isn't just a town, it's architecture that defies gravity. Built vertically into cliffs 500 meters above the Mediterranean, Positano's houses seem to float in midair, connected by staircases so narrow that cars can't fit. Every balcony overflows with bougainvillea, every window frames views that look like Renaissance paintings, and every sunset turns the entire village into molten gold. Walking here feels like climbing through a three-dimensional postcard painted by angels. Number 14. Florence, where the Renaissance literally began and where you can see more artistic masterpieces in one afternoon than most people see in a lifetime. This city didn't just participate in the Renaissance. Florence is the Renaissance. Home to Michelangelo's David, Botticelli's Birth of Venus, and Brunelleschi's Impossible Dome, Florence contains 25% of the world's most important art within just 4 square miles. The Medici family transformed this city into humanity's greatest art laboratory, where Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Raphael all worked simultaneously. Walking Florence's cobblestone streets feels like being inside the world's most expensive art museum that happens to be a living city. Number 13. Cinque Terre, where 5 villages cling to impossible cliff faces above the Mediterranean, connected by hiking trails carved into solid rock and vineyards that seem to defy the laws of agriculture. These villages look like they were built by people who refuse to accept that mountains can't be inhabited. Built over 1,000 years ago by people who literally carved homes into cliff faces, these villages can only be reached by train, boat, or hiking trails that offer the most spectacular coastal views in Europe. The ancient terraced vineyards produce wine from grapes grown on slopes so steep that harvest requires ropes and pulleys. It's like discovering 5 different civilizations that all decided the impossible was just a starting point. Number 12. Venice, where an entire Renaissance city literally floats on water, supported by over 10 million wooden poles driven into the seafloor 1,500 years ago. Venice isn't just built on water, Venice is water architecture made manifest. With over 400 bridges connecting 118 small islands, Venice proves that humans can build impossible cities when they refuse to let geography limit their dreams. St. Mark's Basilica looks like Byzantine emperors' fever dreams made real, while the Doge's palace demonstrates that medieval maritime republics could out-luxury any land-based kingdom. Riding a gondola through Venice feels like sailing through liquid Renaissance architecture. Number 11. Tuscany's Val d'Orcia, where rolling hills dotted with cypress trees create landscapes so perfect they look like Renaissance paintings come to life. This isn't just countryside. This is what happens when nature collaborates with human artistry for 2,000 years. Every hilltop crowns a medieval town. Every valley holds vineyards that produce world-famous Chianti wine. And every sunset turns the entire landscape into a living masterpiece. The thermal springs of Saturnia create natural hot tubs where Romans bathed 2,000 years ago, while medieval towns like Montepulciano offer wine tastings in cellars that predate Columbus. Tuscany proves that paradise isn't a place you go after death. It's a place you visit in central Italy. Number 10. Lake Como, where European aristocracy and modern billionaires built villas so spectacular that George Clooney's house looks modest by comparison. This lake doesn't just have expensive real estate, it has the most beautiful expensive real estate on earth. Villa del Balbianello's terrace gardens seem to float above the lake, while Villa Carlotta contains botanical collections that rival any royal garden in Europe. The lake's unique microclimate allows Mediterranean plants to thrive at the foot of snow-capped Alps, creating an impossible combination of tropical luxury and alpine drama. Boat tours here feel like shopping for palaces you can't afford in a landscape you can't believe exists. Number 9. The Dolomites, where limestone peaks rise like Gothic cathedrals built by giants, creating mountain landscapes so dramatic they look like fantasy movie sets. These aren't just mountains, they're nature's own architectural masterpieces. The Tricime di Lavaredo rises 600 meters straight up like stone skyscrapers, while Cedar Ridge offers hiking trails that make you feel like you're walking on the edge of the world. During sunrise and sunset, the limestone glows pink and orange in a phenomenon called Alpine glow that transforms the entire mountain range into a natural light show. Hiking the Dolomites feels like discovering what Earth looked like when gods were still designing landscapes. Number 8. Rome, where you can eat dinner in restaurants built into 2,000-year-old Roman buildings, and where every street corner reveals architectural masterpieces that most countries would consider their greatest national treasure. Rome isn't just a city with history, Rome is history made tangible. The Colosseum still hosts events, the Pantheon still functions as intended after 2,000 years, and Vatican City contains more artistic masterpieces per square meter than anywhere else on Earth. You can literally trace the evolution of Western civilization by walking Roman streets, from ancient ruins to medieval churches, to Renaissance palaces to Baroque fountains. Living in Rome feels like being a time traveler with a permanent residence in every historical period simultaneously. Number 7. Sicily, where Mount Etna creates new land, while ancient Greek temples prove that this island has been paradise for 3,000 years. Sicily isn't just an island, it's where volcanic power meets ancient civilization in the most dramatic way possible. Mount Etna is Europe's most active volcano and has been erupting continuously for 500,000 years, while Taormina's ancient Greek theater offers front row seats to both volcanic fireworks and Mediterranean sunsets. The Valley of Temples contains Greek ruins so well preserved they look like they were built last week by time-traveling architects. Living on Sicily feels like being extras in a movie where gods, volcanoes, and ancient civilizations all compete to create the most spectacular backdrop. Number 6. Capri, where Roman emperors built their most luxurious villas, and where modern celebrities pay millions just to vacation for a week. This island doesn't just attract the wealthy, it defines what ultimate luxury looks like. The Blue Grotto's electric blue water is created by sunlight passing through underwater caverns, creating a natural phenomenon so spectacular that ancient Romans thought it was the home of sea gods. Villa San Michele's gardens offer views across the Bay of Naples that inspired everyone from Roman emperors to modern artists. Taking a boat around Capri feels like touring a natural sculpture gallery designed by millionaire gods. Number 5. Manarola in Cinque Terre, where impossible terraced vineyards create what UNESCO called a work of art created by man and nature together. This village proves that the most spectacular agriculture happens when humans refuse to accept geographical limitations. The vineyard terraces were carved into solid cliff faces over 1,000 years ago using only hand tools, creating agricultural artwork that produces Cetra wine, one of the world's rarest and most expensive wines. During sunset, the terraces glow golden while the village houses reflect jewel tones into the harbor below. Harvesting grapes here requires ropes, pulleys, and techniques that make mountain climbing look easy. Number 4. Alberobello, where over 1,500 Trulli houses with conical stone roofs create a village that looks like it was designed by fairy tale architects who had unlimited imagination and perfect building skills. These aren't just unusual houses, they're proof that functional architecture can be pure magic. Built using ancient techniques that require no mortar, These houses were designed to be quickly dismantled if tax collectors approached, since taxes were based on permanent structures. Each roof is topped with mystical symbols that are supposed to bring good luck, ward off evil, or invoke religious protection. Sleeping in a trullo feels like spending the night inside a stone poem written by medieval architects who believed buildings should look like dreams. Number 3. Portofino, where a tiny fishing village became so beautiful that it attracts the world's most expensive yachts and celebrities who pay astronomical amounts just to dock in the most photogenic harbor in the Mediterranean. This isn't just a pretty village, it's where natural beauty meets ultimate exclusivity. The harbor's pastel-colored houses reflect perfectly in water so clear, you can see the underwater Christ statue 15 meters below the surface, a bronze sculpture placed there for divers and boat passengers to admire. Castello Brown offers views over the Ligurian Sea that inspired everyone from Guy de Maupassant to modern fashion photographers. Dining in Portofino feels like being extras in a movie where every scene is designed to look impossibly glamorous. Number 2. The Amalfi Coast Road, where every curve reveals views so spectacular that UNESCO declared the entire coastline a World Heritage Site. This isn't just a scenic drive. It's 50 kilometers of pure adrenaline through the most beautiful landscape on Earth. Carved into cliffs 300 meters above the Mediterranean, the road connects villages that look like they were positioned by landscape artists who had unlimited budgets and perfect taste. Ravello's Villa Ruffolo Gardens inspired Wagner's Parsifal, while local artisans still create ceramics using techniques passed down through 20 generations. Driving the Amalfi Coast feels like being the star of an Italian movie where every frame is designed to make you fall in love with life itself. And number 1, Vatican City, where the world's greatest artists created humanity's most spectacular religious art in the smallest country on Earth. This isn't just a religious site. It's where human creativity reached its absolute peak in service of the divine. Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel ceiling took 4 years to paint and contains over 300 figures that tell the entire story of human creation, while St. Peter's Basilica Dome offers views over Rome that make you understand why this was called the center of the Christian world. The Vatican museums contain 54 galleries with masterpieces that most countries would consider their entire national treasure. Standing in the Sistine Chapel feels like being inside God's own art gallery curated by the greatest artists who ever lived. From floating cities that defy physics to villages carved into impossible cliffs. From Renaissance art that defined human beauty to volcanic islands where gods and nature collaborate. Italy isn't just a travel destination, it's proof that paradise exists and has an address in Southern Europe. What makes Italy absolutely magical is how it combines impossible natural beauty with human artistic genius in ways that seem designed to make every other country jealous. You can see Michelangelo's David in the morning, drive the world's most beautiful coastal road in the afternoon, and dine in a 2,000-year-old Roman building at sunset, all while surrounded by landscapes so perfect they look like Renaissance paintings. Now here's my Renaissance challenge for you. If this video convinced you that Italy is the most beautiful country ever created, prove it with your artistic soul. Drop if you want to see those Renaissance masterpieces in Florence, if you're ready for that Amalfi Coast adventure, or if you want to taste wine in Tuscan vineyards older than America. Let's see which Italian masterpiece calls to your romantic heart. But here's my artistic promise. If this video helps us reach 100,000 subscribers, I'll create the ultimate Italy Renaissance route covering every artistic masterpiece, every coastal paradise, every volcanic wonder. Plus, I'll reveal the secret locations where locals celebrate festivals that tourists never see. Hit subscribe and let's discover Italy's most passionate secrets together. And if you're mesmerized by Italy's artistic perfection, wait until next week when we explore Austria, where fairy tale villages reflect in Alpine lakes, where Mozart's music still echoes through Baroque palaces, and where every mountain peak looks like it was designed by romantic poets. Until then, keep believing that beauty has no limits, keep seeking art in every sunset, and I'll see you in the next incredible adventure. Arrivederci, beautiful souls.